How's it going? Welcome back to another Commissioner MTMR Model Railways unboxing. So we all know what it already is, because obviously the title. This is filmed in as part of the last 3 unboxing videos that should have came out before this, hopefully, or at least the last 3 Japanese ones. That's why nothing's basically changed in the background. So today we're going to have a look at a diesel. So today's model is Kato's DD51 800. Doesn't sound right. DD51 with the with the running number of 800. This is actually the Takasaki Depot version, which specifically are JR East's DD51s. Code number of 7008G. This is basically, these assist with their heritage operations. So, on the mainline. Since I already own two JRE steam locomotives, I thought may as well grab a diesel for it, just as a little thing to help out whenever it struggles a bit. Does mean that I'm breaking my what I wanted to do a bit, because I'm supposed to be doing JR West, but oh well, it kind of sticks to its own sort of thing. Anyway, so same sort of box design. On the back we get a nice little imprint of the unit itself. Nice, pretty nice seeing that sort of thing. Obviously, and yeah, made in Japan. All pretty standard, 12 volts. So let's get into it. Unlike the steam locomotives, the casing is they use the same sort of box. It's actually more like what the carriages use. You got a little piece of plastic that covers the front, and there's your box. So we'll get the accessories out first. 2 little headboards. We'll get a close-up of these. These are taped together. 2 little headboards, 2 couplings. I think these are the other style of coupling. So they are working couplings, but they're different as well. You got 2 sets of number plates. You can either set the locomotive to 888 or 895. I think it's 895, which is currently with along with another one which has the white handrails. But I can't fully remember which one it was. Put that on screen. So let's get the model out. With this type of box, usually you take the whole foam out, but with this one doesn't have the split box, so it should be just a drop the model out sort of situation, and there we go. So not too bad at all. There we go. Uses a the more interesting wheel arrangement. Maybe not interesting to the to what Japan has, because Japan seems to use a lot. But in Australia we don't really have these tri-bogeyed units on the broad and the standard. Anyways, more of a narrow gauge thing. Anyways, let's go get some close-ups. That's what I would have said if I remembered to take the rest of the box out, and there are always instructions at the bottom of the box. So let's take a quick look at these instructions, shall we? I realise I'm doing this a little bit out of order, but oops. Pretty standard instructions. It's actually a single page, so unlike most of the other instructions, which is a fold out. All your spare parts as usual, and on the front it's talking about the few added details, number plate fitting, so forth, like that. Pretty standard stuff. Doesn't talk anything about what configuration you have them fitted in, though. I guess you just read the internet for read the website for that. But yeah, pretty standard stuff. Nothing too special with this one. So let's go and get our close-ups. Right, here we are. We've got the model now put on our rotating table. So we're going to go with our regular style video, of course. Let's do a quick spin of the model first. It's kind of nice being able to have a model where I don't have to put something on the table so it doesn't roll away. Anyways, we'll go and jump into a bit of brief history on the model, and then we'll go and have a look at our first impressions and have a nice detailed look at the model. The JNI DD51 class is a diesel hydraulic locomotive built by Hitachi, Mitsubishi and Kawasaki. 649 units were built for the Japanese National Railways between 1962 and 1978. They are built with twin prime movers, outputting a combined horsepower of 220. They operated all over the Japanese narrow gauge network, as they were suitable for both passenger and freight operations. When JNR was privatised, the locomotives were split among the various companies. As of 2016, 29 units were still in active service, with the majority being owned by JR Freight. Today, however, there are around 10 in service, none of which are JR Freight, only sustaining with JR West and JR East. This unit depicts one of the 4 that are currently owned by JR East. Alright, let's do our close look at the model, shall we? Honestly, this diesel is about the same size as most of the steam engines as well, so it's a nice little small product to have a look at. Anyways, we'll zoom in a little even closer so we can have a look at some of the fine details. Alright, starting off on, well, whichever end this is. I'm not 100% sure how the number 1 and number 2 ends work on these, because they look pretty bi-directional, exception of the fact that on this end of the cab has a door, but we'll find out on the other side whether or not if the door's aligned or not. Anyways, so starting off on this end, you get your little handrails and stuff, and they're really nice, finely made handrails. Pretty sure these are... They are plastic handrails, which is fair enough for something this size. Metal is a bit hard to do. So very nicely painted lines as usual, as expected from Kato. Very clean lines. There's no over bleeding on each layer between the white, the grey, and the red. Yeah, as you can see, we got the first of the power bogies. The model has only 2 out of 3 of the bogies powered. Assumingly the real one has all 3 bogies powered though. So nice bit of detail on it. You can see there's a few bits of detail on the bogies. It looks like sandboxes, but I can't confirm that because I also can't see. So we have an exhaust, which actually there's an exhaust on each side of the cab, which is kind of nice. So 2 exhausts. You got your little hole to fit your number plate, as we saw earlier. This is your cab area, obviously, where the section where the drivers sit. You got a door. The door is, I assume that's a door. Yeah, it's a door there. The door is painted. It's not what's it called, and molded in. Not anything that's really easily seeable. Like, it's not an emboss, but it's there. Also looks like the motor's behind it, so because I assume that's what that massive plastic block on the inside is. So that's yeah, that kind of protrudes a bit into the cab. We've got the extra bogie in the center. As I say, it's unpowered on this model, and there is a spring on it to keep that weight down so it doesn't derail, which is kind of nice. But once again, it's very not clean line, clean paintings and so on like that, and very nicely detailed as usual. Got an aerial on the top, what looks like an aerial anyways, and then now we're onto the opposing end of the unit. Looks like the unit should have working headlights. There's no reason why I think it wouldn't, but looks like there should be working headlights. Assumingly, because it doesn't look like there's a way you can get on from the cab from this end, staff that walk on from the ends are primarily shunters, so that they can give hand signals and so forth for the crew, rather than access the cab with those from these areas. You can see that there's a coupler fitted on the front. It's your standard style coupler that comes in most of the boxes for the Kato and even Tomex models. So it's pretty universal. However, of course you can fit your own couplings. I think supposedly there are smaller stuff available that looks a bit more realistic, because of course these are pretty large. Yeah. as I say, should have working headlights and so forth. And there's a nice little molded chain, as you can see just up there. Very nice that they've at least done that, but even though it's not real, I do understand doing chains in this small. Even chains in HO is already kind of struggly and fiddly. So very nice fine bits of detail, as I say. There's a grill there which is all molded. There's honestly not really that much comparatively to in terms of detail. Diesels and electrics are rather boxy by nature, so there's not really much they can do. Looks like the door is swung over to the opposing side, so that's fair enough. So again, no idea which is the number 1 or number 2 end on these models. And back onto the front. This one's got a few little red things stuck to it seems, compared to the other side. Oh no, those red things are there as well. I don't know. So anyways, as I say, pretty nice. Definitely for the size it is, and definitely for what it is, it's not bad at all. Details are there, and the details that need to be extra parts are also obviously extra parts as well. But yeah, so not too bad of a model in terms of details at all. Let's bring it out to the layout and let's give it a run, and do is running in, and we'll also run it with some rolling stock, probably some 12 series carriages. Apologies, I seem to always forget this, especially with these smaller with these Japanese models. It's a bit different in terms compared to the HO models, where we can assume things underneath. So I'm dropping this in before we travel over to the layout and showing out of this close look. So we're just having a look at the underside of the model. You can see with the bogie, with the motor bogies, there are gears, exposed gears, meaning that it does allow you to more easily maintain them, put lubrication and so on. Don't need to open up the shell, don't need to pull off any shells, which is really nice. You've got Kato branding, of course. That is your center bogie. As I say, there's a spring on that to make sure there's force on the wheels when it's rolling, which is really nice, stops it from derailing. Made in Japan sign right there. And your other bogie, once again, is has the gears to allow you to put oil into it. So also, you may have noticed there are traction tyres on the inner, on one of the inner wheels on each, one on each side, one per bogie. So it's got traction tyres as per a lot of the Japanese rolling stock, I've noticed. Alright, here we are. We've made it to the layout. And we've got the DD51 just to the side. I just hurt myself trying to pull up my tripod, so that's painful. So my thumb hurts a bit now. Anyways. It's a tri-bogie locomotive, so we need to. I'm going to put the rail just to make things a little bit easier. It would be easier if I did have the what's it called, the track rerailer here, but that's in the corner over there. We'll also have a look at the layout a little bit, because it is set up for my enjoyment at the moment rather than unboxings. So slide on. Again, there are traction tyres which just make things a little bit difficult to do, but should be fine. Discard the, I think you can see what's, no you can't, so it doesn't matter. I haven't even put the train on screen, that's nice of me, isn't it? Anyways, I'll move it into view of the camera then. Does run pretty nicely, as we can hear. It is a little bit noisy, but again, it is brand new, so let's just rock it a little. This is at 50% power as well, I'm putting it at, just to get it going. It starts up at approximately 10 o'clock on the controller. This is the Kato standard standard pack. So let's see if it gets quieter during its run. So. And as you can see, there are working headlights. I was assuming those were headlights, and they definitely are headlights. No tail lights though, just headlights on the model. Let's get it going. We'll get some running shots of what a die. Doesn't like that. Alright, let's get it moving. Again, it's about 20-25 minutes each way. I'm now only doing about 20 to 25 minutes for the N-gauge stuff, because they are smaller. There is no need to run them nearly as much as the bigger ones. Because of rotation on them. Never mind. It's about, you're doubling the rotation anyways because of the size. So let's get it going. And as I said, this track is a bit more interesting as well. So if I just spin the camera and just follow the train a bit, we are playing around with a few ramps now, so it means that it should be a bit more of a test model itself. Let's go and get some running shots. Alright, that's the running in done. So I guess now it's time to go and run up with a few carriages, shouldn't we? The 12 series carriages are actually parked in the centre track at the moment with the D51 in front of it, so we'll get the D51 cut off from the front. I'll have to obviously shunt it somewhere, and obviously have to get the C62 out of the run round track, or I can get them the soft tracks, either or. But yeah, so I'll go and deal with that, and then we'll go and watch the DD51 do its shunting. Alright, because of the way I have the layout set up, it was easier to run it straight back out rather than reversing it. So it's already been pretty much proven the fact that it can get around this layout. It's got all six of the 12 series carriages. Technically there are 7 though, because the 7th one is actually a crew car, so it would have actually more often ran with that rather than the units on its own, because it was obviously most of the time you run the steam engine on the front. So we're going to get a few shots of it running. Try to make it a few shots of it. We may shorten the train at some point. We may we'll see what happens. Depends how much I feel it's struggling up the hill. We may shorten. Actually, we might shorten the train run up first 5 cars. yeah, and then I don't know, we might even do a shot towards the end with this behind the D51 with the trailing, what's it called, uh, test car. What can I call it? The crew car. So, anyways, I'm gonna remove that car and then let's watch it do some running. Right, there we have it. So we're currently on the back of the D51's train because I don't 100% know what kind of setup they would have had. I'm using the on the instruction manuals for the 12 series. It shows you like particular setups and stuff, and this was one of the setups it showed. Anyways, yeah, what can we say? Not a bad model at all, eh? Definitely feels powerful. It could handle the 6-car rake up the grade. No problems. It did have a bit of slowdown though, but it is pretty steep, surprisingly steep for a pretty standard kit. Thanks to its traction tyres, it did enable it to go up the hill. I definitely have had trains that have struggled to get up the hill even without a load. So, yeah, not bad at all. Nice amount of lights, nice amount of detail. Motor's a little bit noisy, but admittedly it's probably about the same noise level as the D51, so I guess that's why they're also called technically called D51s as well. But yeah, annoyingly I can't run the train that much. I also ran some of the shots with the locomotive on the front, with this thing pulling the set of carriages with the D51 on the back. Immediately trying to do a full loop of that isn't the easiest. The unit can deal with it. It doesn't have any problems with any of the corners, but it's more of a problem with the carriages. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. It seems like everything is really, really nice, especially for the first diesel as part of the NEH fleet. Will there be more diesels? I don't know, maybe. I'm definitely interested to take a look a few more if I can, but definitely it will be a sort of, we'll see what happens sort of thing. I was originally looking at a DE10, I should probably say that now, to join the Kishu fleet, but that was already out of stock by the time I was looking for it, so I went, what's the next best thing? May as well go for one of these, because D51 has definitely had problems getting up the hill sometimes with the full rate. Other than that, I think, yeah, so very nice model. Very pleased with it. It's definitely not a bad model at all. I'm very interested to see how it goes in the long run. Very interested to see what I can do, what else I can do with it, because obviously it didn't only haul passengers. I'm pretty sure. It would have done some freight stuff, so it should be a pretty decently multi-purpose locomotive. The traction tyres do work out in its favour. Interested to see how long these traction tyres last for, because of course traction tyres do have their own problems as such. We will get the number plates fitted at some point in the future. Not yet, obviously, because for video's sake I haven't got those fitted. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed joining me for this little look at the DD51 from Kato. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos coming to you very soon.